Gurun Tang Natosmi. Namaste Gurudevaya Sarva Siddhi Pradayane Sarva Mangala Rupaya Sarvananda Vidayane Dhyang Prabrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Daipayana Viraha Kartar Juhava Putrerti Tanmayarta Taravo Vinedus Tang Sarva Bhurtam Hridayam Manimanantosmi. Hey Sri Guru Gyanada Dina Bandho Svar Nandadartha Karunaika Sindho Vrindavanasana Hitavatara Prasida Radha Pranaya Prachar Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhurtale Svayam Rupa Kadramayam Dadarti Swaparartikam Ardhardhanastranandanter Vidam Yarche Puna Puna Shrimad Rupa Paradam Bhojotali Shyam Jarma Janmani. Today, Srila Gurudev, by his causeless grace, has blessed us to be able to hear some glories of Srila Rupa Goswami, who is Sri Rupa Manjari in the eternal pastimes. And Srila Gurudev was sitting in about 2005 in Radha Damodar. He was describing that the glories of Rupa Goswami, if you could count all the drops of water in the ocean or all the stars in the sky, it would be impossible. So I have 45 minutes. Seems like a long time. But as Gaur Prabhuji mentioned, 5 days it would take to begin to touch on the glories. But hopefully, my goal of this talk is that at the end, something will be there in your heart, on your path back to Godhead. This is a day unlike many others because the question comes up often, why the emphasis of Rupa Goswami? Why are we Rupa Anuga, not Lalita Anuga, or Radhika Anuga, or Krishna Anuga? So many personalities. Really, it's a difficult subject to really grasp. That's why Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who gave everything in his purports, if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, verse by verse, inevitably in each chapter you'll find a reference to Rupa Goswami, if not the definition of pure bhakti. There's no doubt that every single acharya is a representative of Srila Rupa Goswami himself. In fact, it's such an important sambandha, realization, that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has taken in his assimilation of Rupa Goswami's prayers, his essential prayers, the Upadesh. Upadesh means teachings, Amrita, the nectar. On that 8th verse, which our Guru Varga has always emphasized, Ta Nam Rup Charitari Sukirtananam, like this verse, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has created poems, songs, for those devotees who cherish relishing the nectar of instructions within their practice of kirtan. And in his 8th song, he says, Sri Rupa Gosai, Sri Guru Rupati, Shikshadila Murakambi. Rupa Goswami has appeared to me in the form of my Guru. Therefore, all of our Gurus are a Prakash, a manifestation of the original Guru, who is Sri Rupa Goswami. So the subject also comes up before we actually get into understanding Rupa Goswami's nature and hear directly from our Guru Varga, from Krishnadas Kaviraj, how Rupa Goswami surrendered to his Guru, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is a very important thing to understand. It's in the song that we sang today, that Madhu sang. Dhyan Kali Rupa. This word Dhyan means if. So in Indian culture, which we have to go back in time 500 years and think about India 500 years ago as we hear about his personalities, here about God consciousness. Yarn Kali Rupa means if, in this Kali, Sri Rupa Goswami had not come. Sharira Nadarata, Sharira means if from the spiritual world Sri Rupa Manjari had not Prakash, had not manifested. Srila Gaur Bhajan Maharaj, in his glorification, and many of our acharyas would always affirm, they're not ordinary people. These are not ordinary people. So the associate of the Lord, who is the leader of the Manjaris, who have what is called Bhava Udas Rati, special type of Rati for Krishna. They are Madhurya Ras, but they are particularly inclined to Radhadasi Bhav. And it's such an exalted position that it's only given to the jivas of the world once in a day of Brahma. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's the avatar who has descended as an every age God, Vishnu, will descend. But in this age, only Rupa Goswami has revealed the internal mood of why Mahaprabhu descended. See, we might read Chaitanya Bhagavat, and it was quite known Mahaprabhu is God. He revealed himself to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, six-armed form. He revealed himself in Tapar Mishra's home. Mahaprabhu would sit on the altar sometimes and he would be absorbed in the mood. He'd say, I am Vishnu. So from Chaitanya Bhagavat perspective, it was established, Mahaprabhu, and he's come to deliver the world through Nam Sankirtan. However, it was Rupa Goswami who, through his contribution, revealed to the world the actual understanding of what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's internal reasons for descending were. And this is so important because, as Srila Gurudev explains when he's commenting on Raghunath Das Goswami's Manashiksha, Raghunath Das being the foremost follower of Rupa Goswami, there's two types of bhajan. Srila Gurudev goes very deep into Rupa Goswami's teachings in the importance of understanding Rupa Goswami's execution. So it's really not so much about giving more information, because everybody here is samskars, probably has been to India, the Dham, Parikrama, Sadhu Sangha. The benefit of discussing Rupa Goswami and unpacking something, this if he had not come, then Yadankali Rupa Sharir Nardarata Tarn Braja Prema. Tarn means then. Tarn Braja Prema. Mahar Nidhi Kurtarika. So Mahar Nidhi. Nidhi means it's a great ocean of Braja Prema. That's what Mahaprabhu is. Descended as Sachinandana Gaurahari, what he's experiencing. When you read, if you read Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, practically in every other paragraph, he's bathing somebody in his tears. And that's not an exaggeration, that's literal. Mahaprabhu's ecstasies created crowds, thousands of people. In fact, when he was going to Vrindavan, it's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, the first chapter, before he comes to Ramkeli and meets Rupa Goswami, that there were so many people following him that there were literally massive ditches because everybody would be taking the dust from where he walked. Mahaprabhu made a tremendous amount of people have faith that he was actually the Supreme Lord at that time. However, Mahaprabhu himself did not share for the jiva souls the process to attain what he came to get. When Rupa Goswami came Rupa Mahaprabhu was traveling to Vrindavan, and he changed his mind. He came to Ramkeli, which was the capital of Gauradesh. Gauradesh means West Bengal area. And there's a Muslim king there, and that Muslim king heard about this great prophet. And so he asked his ministers about this person, and the ministers said, he's not paying people, because Mahaprabhu had thousands of people following him. He's not paying them. There's something that he's distributing, he's a prophet. And so the Muslim king, his advisor said, you should just let him be. Rupa Goswami, he was born in a very aristocratic Brahmin family. He and Sanatana Goswami were educated from the very early age. And because of this knowledge that they had, this Muslim king employed them. In fact, the Muslim king had a fortune teller person in their court that said, if you hire, there's these two Brahmins that are especially benedicted, you will get all wealth, you will get all success from all of your endeavors. So Rupa Goswami was a highly paid executive for the head of this area. And so the king came to him kind of secretly and asked him about his personality, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And very diplomatically, Rupa Goswami said to him the truth, but not in a way that would challenge him, because in the world of diplomacy, king is king, and ultimately he makes the final decision. So Rupa Goswami was very wise. He said, yes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has himself appeared in your kingdom, and you're very blessed. You should treat him with great respect. But actually, king, you know everything, because you are the representative of Godhead. Therefore, whatever appears in your mind, you should do. And so one night, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami very clandestinely, secretly, took off all of their royal attire, and they dressed themselves humbly with some cloth around their neck, and they put some straw in between their teeth, and they came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First, they met Nityananda Prabhu, which is a great example of how we come to the Lord. They met Nityananda Prabhu, and Nityananda Prabhu blessed them, gave them their mercy, and said, you don't have anything to worry about now. And they brought him to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is basically the textbook that he has compiled describing everything from A to Z. What is Shraddha? What is the sequence from going from Shraddha to the topmost Prem? What is Prem? What is Man, Sneha? What is Rag, Anubhav? What is Marnaki Mahabhav? What is regulative devotion? What is spontaneous devotion? Every definition that was ordered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to him after their meeting, Rupa Goswami has given. And what's the basis of it all? Of the 64 limbs of Bhakti, Sri Guru Pada Ashraya. Take shelter of Guru. So let us hear how Rupa Goswami took shelter of his Guru, because actually, like I said, he was extremely wealthy, extremely knowledgeable, extremely high positioned, and one of the greatest reasons that our Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, literally would tear up and start weeping when he would give pravachan of Srila Rupa Goswami and stammer out the verses of the Shad Goswami Ashtakam, was because of their level of vairagya, their level of giving their heart to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is why Rupa Goswami is the one, if he had not come, Tarun Braja Prema, then who would have unlocked the storehouse of that Braja Prema? Then, who could have unlocked the storehouse? Who had the code to crack the code? That's what he gave. And that is what is buried deep inside of the bhajans that we sang tonight. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Jaya Jaya Sundar Nanda Kumar. Srila Bhakti Pragana Keshav Goswami Maharaj, before I read this, I'll just mention the mood in which of Srila Gurudev, Bhaman Goswami Maharaj, Trivikram Goswami Maharaj, of the Gauriya Vedanta Samiti, which is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gauriya Mat, Part 2. In his Upadeshavali, he says that Gaur Bhajan, in the mood of a Rupanuga, is actually the Vipralamba of Radha Krishna. So again, my friends, everybody here has the qualification actually of being Guru. I've heard from a god brother of mine in my research for this class, I've discussed with several senior Vaishnavas, and what was shared with me at a recent lecture, he was listening that even the disciples of Guru are Guru. So all that I'm wanting to share is that what we are already doing, why? And if that something of Rupa Goswami's mood connects deep inside of our heart, perhaps that will take us closer to what our goal is. When Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami came with the Shrava trees in their teeth, they humbly offered their prayers, and they said, Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Doya Moy Parhita Pavar Jai Jai Maharshoy. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the merciful savior of all fallen souls. All glories to the Supreme Personality. Sir, we belong to the lowest class of men, and our association and employment are also of the lowest type. Therefore, we cannot introduce ourselves to you. We feel very much ashamed standing here before you. And just to mention, later on in the Madhya Lila, in chapter 19, Mahaprabhu is back in Jagannath Puri with his associates, and he's recounting this experience of meeting Rup Sanatan, and he's saying, they were so humble, their humility could melt a stone. This was Mahaprabhu's impression of these brothers when they met him. Dear Lord, let us inform you, there is no one more sinful than us, nor is there any offender like us. Even if we wanted to mention our sinful activities, we would immediately become ashamed. And what to speak of giving them up? Both brothers submitted, Dear Lord, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. We should consider that in this world there is none as fallen as us. You have delivered the two brothers, Jagai and Madai, but to deliver them, you did not have to exert yourself very much. The brothers Jagai and Madai belonged to the Brahmin caste, and their residence was in the holy place of Navadvip. They never served low-class persons, nor were they instruments to abominable activities. They considered themselves, because of their employment in the Muslim government, and all the rest of society also would consider them Muslims. That's how it goes. The caste is gone when one is associated in that way. Jagai and Madai had but one fault. They were addicted to sinful activity. However, volumes of sinful activity can be burned to ashes simply by a dim reflection of the chanting of your holy name. Jagai and Madai uttered your holy name by way of blaspheming you. Fortunately, that holy name became the cause of their deliverance. We too are millions of times inferior to Jagai and Madai. We are more degraded, fallen, and sinful than they. Actually, we belong to the caste of meat eaters because we are servants of meat eaters. Indeed, our activities are exactly like those of meat eaters. Because we always associate with such people, we are inimical towards cow and brothers and Brahmins. Mordekan morde harte galaya barniya ku birshaya bishta gadate diarche pelaya. Two brothers, Shakir Malik and Dabir Kash, that's Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they're in their Muslim names, very humbly submitted that due to their abominable activities, they were now bound by the neck and hands and had been thrown into a ditch filled with abominable stool-like objects of material sense enjoyment. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave them the name Rupa Sanatan. put his feet on their heads. And he said, now go take the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. This is how we come to Shri Guru, the manifestation, Sakshad Hari Tena Samasta Shastrer, of the Supreme Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the incarnation that comes once in a day of Brahma, to bestow what Rupa Goswami has explained to us. Anarpitar Charin Chirar, what has not been given in a long time. Anarpita Charin Chirar, Karunaya Tirna Kalo, Samarpayratum Urnata Urdvala Rasam. This is the key. And it shouldn't be broken up, Srila Gurudev says. Don't break up Urnata Urdvala Rasam from Swabhakti Shriyam. Because the Swabhakti Shriyam is the effulgence of what is the service mood. That is that Urdjwal Vrati, that precious mood that is in Mahaprabhu's heart. He came to bestow that. Hari Prata Sundara Jutikandam Sandipita Sada Hridaya Kandre Spuratu Va Sachinandana. Rupa Goswami composed this verse when they're sitting in Puri. Mahaprabhu is there with them. Mahaprabhu is thinking, it's like you have a pot of nectar and you've put some wine in it. You're glorifying me too much. It's like, you have some beautiful drink and you've added some drop of wine and now it's all spoiled. Ramananda Roy, he was there and he says, no. It's like some beautiful sweet rice where some camphor has been added to it. So this is a very, very, very deep understanding of this. If Rupa Goswami had not come, then that's what tan means. It doesn't necessarily mean then who would have opened the storehouse. It means then nothing. All that was there, it's there in Goloka Vrindavan. But now it's with us. The Rupanuga Guru Varga has been opened. And the process has come to the Western world. This was contained in the hearts of our acharyas, Mahaprabhu's followers especially. Like we said, Param Gurudev says, if you do Gaur Bhajan in the mood of a Rupanuga, now you're serving Radha and Krishna. Now you're understanding the Vipralamba Bhajan. Why Vipralamba? Well, because it's what Mahaprabhu came, what his mood is. His mood. Even a moment seems like a millennium in your absence. Right? Sikshashtakam prayers. The Vipralamba Bhajan of Radha Krishna is only possible through Gaur Bhajan. But not anybody can have it. Even though we have a very broad-mindedness, very exclusive respect to everyone, we are very, very exclusive. Those that are followers of Rupa Goswami. And that's epitomized by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and all of the Gaudiya Acharyas who have composed the methodology of the moods of what Rupa Goswami came to distribute. Beautiful verse by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur crystallizing how the Gaudiya Vaishnavas who followed Rupa Goswami, because it's so complete, because it is explained in Shringar Ras, the origin of all mellows, what Sachinandan Goharari is distributing, Urnata Urzvala Ras Svabhakti Shriyam, that one doesn't necessarily have to have any discreditation of any other method of worship or any other type of sampradayic conception of the absolute truth. According to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, if it's not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conception, we just have no regard for it. Who is our worshipable deity? The son of the king of Braj. Only that Krishna, who is the beloved of Radhika in Braj. Not Krishna in Dwarka, not Krishna in Mathura, not Ram, Ramachandra. Only that son of the Krishna in Braj. And what is the highest worship of our Ishtadev? That is the son of the king of Braj. Brajabardul Bargena Yakalpita. The love of the Braja Gopis. Why? Because they give the highest sacrifice Their chastity, their shyness, everything they had, they put on the line. 1,000,000%, to the point that Krishna said, O Braja Gopis, when he met them after they were weeping for him in the middle of the forest on the bank of Jamuna Puni. And he came back to them and they're chastising him. Oh Krishna, what kind of lover are you? Finally he says, I'm none of those Braja Gopis and I can never repay you. This evidence of this is established by Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the conception of our Rupanuga Guru Vargam. And this is the conception of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we, other than this mati, we don't have any regard for anything else. This is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving us in the line of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami, why has he made a textbook? Why are acharyas again and again saying, when you're ready, Bhakti Rasamrita and Ujjwal Nilamani become your life and soul? Because he cracked the code. This is the thing for the storehouse. And if he had not come then, you would have 1,000,000 mixed conceptions that are out there even today. But the conception of the Rupanuga Guru Varga is so crystal clear that when we follow, when we understand just some of these, we can go so close to the heart of all of these acharyas. And Yadankali Rupa Sharir Nadarata, Tanbraja Prema Maharimi Kutariki is just the tip. It's just explaining how Rupa Goswami, how he could separate the different rasas, the rasas of Mathura. And he could expand what is pure devotional service. Before, you have to understand in India, before, Parakiya Bhav was looked down upon by all of the sampradayas, even the Madhva, even in our own. Yes, of course, a woman meeting with a man outside of their marriage is abominable in this world. TK, that's fine. However, Srimati Radhika, in the Brahma Samhita, it's explained, Nija Kala. Kala means it's an expansion of the Supreme Lord. She is the Swarup Shakti. So how could it ever be brought to the main world that the paramour love, unwedded love, unrestricted illicit love is the highest conception of love of God? Only if Rupa Goswami had, on the basis of Shastra, on the basis of established Shastra, proved it, could not be refuted. Therefore, if he had not come, the glory of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu giving this mood, this bhav that we take so regularly in our prayers, and that takes us closer to what our Acharya's mood is towards the divine couple. Complete and exclusive dedication to the lotus feet of Krishna's beloved. This, again, this is not common knowledge. We are very blessed to understand that our relationship with Krishna, with God, the Supreme Godhead, is not with Him directly, but as the servant of where Prem lives, where Krishna Prem lives, because Krishna even says himself, Radha's Prem controls me. So it's really not about who's higher and lower. Like those here in Gaudiya Math, we're always talking about Radhe, Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe. It's all Radhe, Radha Bhav, Radha Dasyam. What about Krishna? You hear that a lot of times from like an ISKCON devotee. Why are you neglecting Krishna? It's not about that. One's higher or one's lower. The question is, according to Srila Gurudev's conception, when he's talking about the writings of the Goswamis, like Rupa and Raghunath, and how to appreciate the sentiments of their particular inclination towards Srimati Radharani's service, like in, let's say, Vilapa Kusumanjali. Shri Rupa Manjari Kararachit Para Parma Kostendra Nanjana Pujarpita Mastakaya Ha Morda Kanaka Gauri Padara Vindam Sambahar Nishankestavakim Karisya. It's all about Radhika resting her head on the arm of Krishna and Rupa Manjari massaging her lotus feet. So Srila Gurudev, to frame all of this, is saying, it's not about one being higher. The question is, where does Prem live? Rupa Goswami cracked the code for the storehouse of Prem to be received. Now the question for us is, how do we nurture that? How do we receive that? How do we become completely recipients of this, on this Christmas day, of all of those gifts? The day that Rupa Goswami appeared or disappeared, both are the same in our conception. Well, if we take guidance again from Param Gurudev, how he said, if you follow how the people did Gaur Bhajan, then you will understand. So there's no better way to explain it than the essence of all of the instructions. Rupa Manjari is the head of all of the Manjaris. And why is that position even greater than, say, Lalita Vishaka? If Krishna wants to enter into the Kunj, if Radharani is in Man, he has to request the Manjaris. And if they say no, he cannot. They have a position that they can be servants of a divine couple during their amorous pastimes. This is something that none of the Sakis, who have their own connection with Krishna, have access to. Such the high position. And that is what Mahaprabhu is distributing. Not what Mahaprabhu is tasting. He is tasting Radha Bhav. That is not for us jivas to taste. Right? He's come to experience the glory of Radharani's love. So all of our acharyas, when they're leaving this world, they wanted to hear one song, Shri Rupa Maranjari Padda, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti Rakshat Shirmash, all of them for the reason that it's our parakash, it's our supreme goal. And we listen to the teachings of this song and understand why Srila Gurudev, when Rupa Goswami appeared to me as Sri Guru, why the first instruction that he gave was Rupa Goswami's instruction, what is pure bhakti? Or the first way he answered that question to that neophyte devotee that was so puffed up that he wanted to do some really high seva. And Srila Gurudev said, well, you know, even Brahma can't do that seva, and you want to? Well, that's direct from Srila Rupa Goswami's song, Krishna Deva Bhavarata Bhante. So Srila Gurudev is all around, from top to bottom, inside and out, saturated with Rupa Goswami and with his disciples as well. So this is the essence of what is in Srila Gurudev's heart and every heart that has come from the time when it was bestowed to Chaitanya unto Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami, after he had received that initiation, they went back and made plans to leave their whole political position. And eventually they came, and with Anupam, Mahaprabhu bestowed upon him all the teachings of Sampadayan and the order to distribute that, so that we have that today. It's all come from Mahaprabhu's heart. So, Narottam Das Thakur has prayed, the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari are my dearmost treasure. Everybody knows this song. But at the end of it, I just want to jump to the end, right? Sri Rupa Manjari Parra. How about at the end? Ha ha Prabhu Korodoya. He's addressing Rupa Manjari as Prabhu? No. He's addressing Rupa Goswami. He's saying, oh, Rupa Goswami, please give me the shade of your lotus feet. There I am taking shelter. My dearmost treasure, they are the topmost object of my worship and my inner devotional practices, the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari. Her lotus feet are my most treasured wealth, more dear than my own life. They are the exquisite ornament of my life, and indeed are the very essence of existence. Her lotus feet are the treasure house of Ras. They bestow the perfection of my desires, most precious service to Srimati Radhika, Swabhakti Shriyam. And they are the conclusion of the Vedas. Her lotus feet fulfill the goal of my vows and austerities, my Harinam, Japa, my actions and my spiritual practices, all performed with the aim to please Sri Rupa Manjari. When Mahaprabhu is pleased with me, and this is the point that I'm coming to here, Anukul hobe vidhi, separe hoibe siddhi. Siddhi, sarva siddhi, sarva sanga, sarva sashtrikoy, lama matra sarva sanga, sarva siddhi. Perfection. But nowhere in here is Mahaprabhu's name mentioned in this verse. But the translation of our acharyas, there is the importance of how we can understand these songs and make our hearts one with them. He's saying, when Mahaprabhu is pleased with me. Why is he saying Anukul habe vidhi? So this word Anukul, very deep inside of Rupa Goswami's definition of pure bhakti, comes the word Anukul. So to go deeper into understand, okay, how can we actually make Mahaprabhu pleased with me? This is the center point code of Rupa Goswami, of the entire definition. But we all have heard the definition, most likely, Anyabilasa Krishnanyam. But let us hear how, again, the Rupanuga Acharyas take and digest and assimilate the teachings and then produce a song for the practitioners to practice those moods and imbibe the moods into their consciousness. Narottam Das Thakur, Prem Bhakti Chandrika, Shuddha Bhakti Tattva, said, I will always engage in seva within the 9 types of bhakti, which are in harmony with the conclusions presented in the Bhagavatam and other Vaishnava Shastras. So that's what Anukula hoy vidhi. When Mahaprabhu is pleased, what would make Mahaprabhu is pleased? When I'm engaging in Krishna Bhakti in harmony with the conclusions presented in Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pum Artamaham. Prem is the highest artha, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and the Bhagavatam is the praman, is the evidence of that. Oh brother, don't seek the shelter of any other devata, for exclusive service to Krishna is the cause of Shuddha Bhakti. Let us all consider within our hearts the versions of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra to be one and the same, and harmonize everything within the conception of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And always float within the mellow of Prem Bhakti, avoiding the karmis, jnanis, and the persons devoid of bhakti. So Narottam Das narrates this tattva. Arnya bhilasita shurnyam, gyarna karmar dadna vritam, arnu kulyena krishna nurshilarnam, bhakti ruttamam. 1. Should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. Giving up all desires for the path of jnana and karma, I shall engage my mind and body in bhajan, in the association of Vaishnavas. Krishna's seva should be performed without the worship of any other deva or devi. This is the cause of Parama Bhakti, supreme devotion. Let us follow the path outlined by the Mahajans, carefully examining the versions they have delineated in both past and present. That is Anugatya. And Anu is mentioned 3 times in the definition of Rupa Goswami's definition from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Arnushiladam, Anukuryerna. That means Anugatya, under the guidance of how the previous Mahajans, their conception, their words, their poetry, their moods, everything flowing through us. That is called the Dara, the Bhakti Vinod Dara, the flow that Param Gurudev said cannot be checked in his glory of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Arati. He's describing how this flow of the water from the conch shell in the Arati of Srila Prabhupada Saraswati is the Dara, the flow of Bhakti Vinod Thakur that cannot ever be checked. It's running throughout all time because it's Mahaprabhu's distribution in this age. So, in our daily performance of sadhana, we must not neglect Lila Smarana. Lila Smarana, so Shravanam, Kirtanam, Tadnam Rupa Charitari, Sukirtananu, Rupa Goswami's essence of all advice, perform Sukirtan, very excellent kirtan of name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Srila Gurudev is in his Manashiksha purport on the first verse where he's talking about deep attachment for the divine couple, the holy name, Diksha mantras, Guru, the residents of Vrindavan. He's explained that there's two types of bhajan. There's an internal and an external. Those who are performing external, they are ordered to do devotional practices and they do it. Those who do it of their own nature because they want to and they're inspired and they love to do it, they do Nam, Rup, Gur, and Lila, Kirtan. And all of that is the type of kirtan that leads deeper into understanding Rupa Goswami's explanation of the type of bhakti that's following in the wake of the eternal residents of Braj. Those are called Rag Atmika Jan. They have in their hearts eternal, spontaneous attachment for Krishna. And in the wake of those residents, it's called Rag Anuga, again Anu Bhakti, Rag Anuga Bhakti. And there are beautiful explanations of Rupa Goswami how to enter into that, how to understand that step by step. Kram is the way that the codes Rupa Goswami has shared and all that the Mahajans, the Gurus have shared are to be understood. For example, in a darshan with Srila Gurudev in 2007 on the Manashiksha verse 3, Yaricher Vasam Brajabhuvi Sar Ragam Pratijad Nur. If you want this rag of the Brajvasis, then Yuvadvarvam Tachet Paricham Arar Vilasei Swarupam Sri Rupam Sagranam Hatasya Gramapi Sputam Premnam Nityam Smarataram Taratram Shinumanaha. You should always remember and bow down with great love to Sri Rup Sanatan and all of their followers because they're the great treasure house of Gaur Prem. Then his disciple Achyutananda is asking a very pertinent question to Sri Gurudev. He's saying, there's so much stav stutis, he's saying, Guruji, and ashtakams in our parampara. Of these, which are most powerful, right? So, of all of these massive that are there in this songbook, which are most powerful? Sri Gurudev says, there are so many to Radha, Krishna, Mahaprabhu, Vrindavan. But Sri Gurudev says, first to Guru, then to Nityananda Prabhu, then to the all-merciful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then to Srimati Radhika. So this is Kram. This is how Rupa Goswami has established the codes to be unlocked sequentially. This is the Kram, Sri Gurudev is saying, or the sequence. Then, later, after Radhika, and then to Krishna. So first is Radhika, after Mahaprabhu. Then to Radha Krishna together. Then to Giriraj, then Yamuna, Lalita, Vishaka. So then Srila Gurudev goes into a few of the ashtakams. So all of these confidential secrets of bhajan are revealed in the Manashiksha, follower of Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. It's called Gandharvika Bhajan, specifically aimed towards service to Srimati Radhika, expounded by here. So, let us abandon all forms of asat sangha, not neglecting Lila Smaranam. That's the Lila Smaranam, is the ashtakams that we just heard. To Lalita, Vishaka, all of Rupa Goswami's ashtakams are Lila Smaranam. When we do those kirtans, by the grace of first Guru Nityananda, then Mahaprabhu, then Radhika, Krishna, it enters into our heart. Brahmturartha kasya parta nebi parti harini prekshayarti papino pipapa sindutarini niramaduri pirapya shesha chitta vardini mampurnartu sarvadharna vindavardurnardini. Let us abandon all forms of asat sangha, other unnecessary attachments, and the company of karmis and jnanis. Then, in the association of sincere bhaktas, just discuss the pleasurable mellows of prem bhakti found in Braj Lila Katha. So, before I have to finish, I wanted to discuss some of the pleasurable mellows found in Braj Lila Katha. And a very interesting thing, my Shiksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Muni Maharaj, whose picture is there, was always requested by Srila Gurudev to sing a particular song. Srita Kamala Kuchamardala. This is a very beautiful song of Gita Govinda. In fact, it's kind of like a Mangala Charanam. And Srila Gurudev would ask him, because Gurudev relished these moods of Gita Govinda. And he had a particular fondness of how Sripad Muni Maharaj would sing. So, Sripad Muni Maharaj, as you know, as most people will know if they read the songbook, there's a refrain at the beginning of the song. This is Jayadev Goswami's song. It's not there in the Gita Govinda, but it's there in the songbook. It's in a refrain. Radhe Krishna Govinda Gopala Nanda Dulala Yarshoda Dulala Jaya Jaya Deva Hare. And then, of course, the song, right? So, Sripad Muni Maharaj was telling me the story of how some of the devotees, when he would sing this song, he would not include that refrain. He would just sing it as it was, just the lines of that song. And some other senior devotees were a little bit perturbed. And they came to Srila Gurudev. Maharaj isn't singing it right. It's in the songbook. And Srila Gurudev said, actually, he is singing it right. So what is the basis of Rupa Goswami's conclusion about this? This is how, when we understand the teachings, the Siddhanta, we can map out our own path in the quickest way towards the shelter of the moods of what Sri Gurudev is giving us. See, when we understand this line, just this example, Radha Krishna Govinda Gopala Nanda Dulala. So that is the son of Nanda, the son of Yashoda, Dulala. That is very much in the mood of Vatsalya Ras. And the rest of that song, Srita Kamala Kurchamardala. What is Krishna taking shelter of? You can read the translation yourself. It is nothing but pure Madhurya Ras. So, Rupa Goswami has explained in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that there are incompatibilities, compatibilities, and neutralities amongst the different rasas. This is compatible and incompatible rasas. Now, if we look and understand, when it comes to Madhurya, what are the compatible rasas? Meaning, what rasas can be sung, felt at the same time that we're remembering Radha Krishna and their conjugal love? Well, Vatsalya is not there. In fact, Vatsalya is categorized as incompatible. Neutral is Dasya, Abhirama. So for somebody who is relishing the moods, they're not going to relish singing about Krishna being Nanda Dulala, Yashoda Dulala, when they're thinking about Krishna taking shelter of the breast of Srimati Radhika. It's incompatible for a Rupanuga who is steeped in Srila Rupa Goswami's conception of Bhakti Ras. That's all I have to offer today, my friends. As I was saying in the beginning, it's like Christmas. You know, they say in Christianity that Jesus Christ is the only way. In a way, and I'm not trying any, this is my own personal feeling about the appearance of Rupa Goswami, the disappearance about Rupa Goswami. Because every single person in our line is giving what he gave. Nothing different. He's the single personality. He's the Prabhupada. He is the one. He is the deliverer. If he had not appeared, then what? We would not be delivered. It's like the same thing Christians say about Jesus. It's only because Jesus appeared that our sins are saved. Well, God appeared, but it was the Son of God who delivered us, and that's Rupa Goswami. Panchakabhara Vyasa Kripa Sindhu Vedacha Pritanam Pavane Vaishnava.